Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Sri Radha Debroy, your sociology educator. So in this video we are going to discuss about association or what an association means in sociology. And before starting with the video, these are my basic academic details, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. So now without wasting much time, let us start with today's video. So we first start with the definitions of association. So the first definition has been given by MacIver. So MacIver says that an association is an organization which is deliberately formed for the collective pursuit of some interests or a set of interests which members share. So he stresses upon the interest part, that is an association is basically formed to fulfill some common interest. Now, Maurice Ginsburg says that an association is a group of social beings related to one another by the fact that they possess or have instituted in common an organization with a view to securing specific end or specific ends. So, he talks about specific ends, that is, there are some goals which the members together have to fulfill. So, all the members of an association are basically tied by some particular interests, so the members come together to fulfill some particular interests, and this is one defining feature of an association. Therefore, an association is a group of people organized around a particular interest. It enables members to fulfill some common goals. They are functional groups that come into existence for the fulfillment of specific purposes by cooperative action. So we see that the concept of association is different from the concept of community. Now I already have a video on community. If you haven't watched it, you can go to the description box. I will provide the link below so that you can watch it from there. Now, a community is basically formed without any interest. So, by birth, members are part of the community. However, an association is basically formed to fulfill some particular interest. So, the members come together to fulfill a particular interest. So now let's look at the characteristics of association. So the first characteristic is that it is a social group. So an association is a social group. So an association is basically formed by a group of people, and therefore it is a social group. So without the people there can be no association. Second, common interest. So this is the most important feature of association. So an association is defined by common interests. So the people who come together to form an association basically come together because they have some common interests to fulfill. Third, aims and objectives. So naturally when an association is formed due to some particular interest, it will have some aims and objectives. So basically fulfilling of that particular interest forms a part of its aims and objectives. Say for example a political party. So if we consider a political party to be an association, then fulfilling of a particular political ideology will be a part of its aim and objectives. Next, we have organization. So, an organization is basically an important characteristic of association. So, an association basically means some kind of organization, or an association can be considered as an organized group. So, every association will work in a certain organized fashion, and every member in the organization will have certain roles to play. Say, for example, the president of the particular party will have certain roles to play, then the secretary will have certain role to play, the members will have certain roles to play. So all of these is carried on in an organized fashion. Next we have is cooperative spirit. So obviously for the members to work together to fulfill a certain interest, they will have to have certain cooperative spirit among them. So they will have to cooperate and work together to fulfill a certain interest. The next point is regulation of relations. So the relations in an association are basically regulated in a certain fashion, and every association has a certain set of rules and regulations which the members have to follow, and if they do not follow these rules they might be expelled from the association. Now, these rules may be written or unwritten, but the members will have to certainly follow these rules so that they remain the members of the association. And if they do not maintain these rules, then they might be expelled from the association. Next, established. So an association is established. So unlike a community which is formed naturally, an association is established by human efforts. So it is not formed naturally, but it is formed by members who come together, or people who come together due to certain common interests. So they establish this association, and an association has basically a set of rules and regulations which the members have to follow. So basically an association is established and not naturally formed. Next, voluntary membership. So by now we have an idea of what is an association and how it comes into being. So we know that an association is formed by the efforts of the people, and therefore membership in it is voluntary. So people become members of an association by their own will and not by anyone's force or coercion. So unlike a community in which members become a part of it by virtue of their birth, members in an association come together because they have some common interests to fulfill. So therefore membership in an association is voluntary, and people are not forced to become part of this group or association, but rather they become members of the association by their own free will. So last we talk about durability. So here we discuss about the duration, or how long does the association exist. So an association may be permanent or it may be temporary. Now examples of permanent association may be state, religious associations, etc. And temporary associations may include, say for example, some fairs or ceremonies, etc. Now we need to understand that an association basically is formed due to certain interest. So when the interest or the goal is fulfilled, an association may be terminated. So the association shall exist to fulfill the common interest, and it may so happen that when the common interest is fulfilled or the goal has been achieved, an association may disperse or may be terminated. So now we look at some of the examples of association. So we have political parties, religious associations, teachers association, flood relief association, trade unions, etc. So we see that all of these basically have some common purpose. So political parties, religious associations, all of these are formed to fulfill a certain purpose. Say for example, a teachers association may be formed to look after the interests of the teachers group, or the flood relief association may be formed to provide flood relief to the people. So all of these associations are formed to fulfill the interests of its members. So to conclude, we can say that in modern society, the number of associations are increasing rapidly. Our lives are largely lived in associations. So in our modern society, we are a part of one association or the other at any and every point of our lives. So in this sense, we can say that associations and the importance of associations in our lives are largely increasing in the modern world. So in the next video, I will bring a detailed discussion on the differences between community and association. So please keep an eye on the next video to get a detailed understanding of the difference between community and association. So I hope this video was helpful for you all. If yes, then please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any other video requests, you can comment down below and I'll surely make videos on them as well.